Hey everybody, so I am back again to pretty much talk about my first trimester of pregnancy that I just had finished up actually today, well tonight because it's nighttime again. So I'm pretty much just going to talk about the symptoms I've had, you know, how I've been feeling and all that good stuff. So first of all, I didn't start getting my pregnancy symptoms until about 6 weeks and 2 days, I would say, because I had my first ultrasound at 6 weeks, and pretty much 2 days after that ultrasound, I started feeling really, really exhausted, and I started throwing up like continuously throughout the night. So I would be laying in bed and then I would just randomly wake up, and I luckily had a trash can next to my bed because literally, I promise you, if you have morning sickness, the trash can next to your bed is going to become your best friend, especially if vomiting is involved, because it's very common, and I think it's in like 80% of women or 50% of women, they get morning sickness, whatever that correct statistic is, but it's a good amount of women who get morning sickness. So if you are one who hasn't experienced morning sickness, you are lucky, lucky, lucky. I can't even explain how lucky you are. Like, one of my best friends actually from elementary school, she had no morning sickness with her first kid, and she's actually 2 weeks behind me pregnant with her second kid, and we were talking and she told me how she's pregnant again, and she's like, yeah, I have no morning sickness, and I'm just like, girl, you don't even know what I've been dealing with the past few weeks, because I've been dying low-key. It's not a joke. Morning sickness is a lot to deal with. Anyways, back to the story because I'm getting sidetracked again. So symptoms of my morning sickness. So it pretty much got pretty bad around 6 weeks and 2 days after I had my first ultrasound at 6 weeks. The baby was super tiny. It didn't really even look much like a baby yet. Like, you could tell there was something there, but you can't really see like the features, like the head and the face and the hands and all that stuff. But yeah, I started throwing up early mornings. Not really so much at night, but it would be really crucial from 12 a.m. in the morning till about 11 o'clock in the morning. So late evening, or you know, like midnight pretty much, to 11 a.m. was my hardest part about it. But yeah, my symptoms included of throwing up, a little bit of heartburn, very hard to sleep at night. Like, I would wake up every 2-3 hours, either to have to use the bathroom because you'll tend to have to urinate a little more than usual, and I would wake up due to like hunger. Like, you know that feeling when you haven't ate in a long time and then like you feel like, oh my god, I'm gonna throw up, or I'm super nauseous. I had that feeling like every 2 or 3 hours. So when you read online and you start reading all what people say or what women say about, hey, leave snacks by your bed at night, I highly recommend it, because literally, if you are one who gets morning sickness, you're gonna need snacks throughout the night. And yeah, definitely be smart and keep a trash can next to the bed, because you might be leaning into that thing a lot to throw up, and if you can't make it to the toilet, at least you have the trash can there. I mean, I tried my best to make it to the toilet, but when you're waking up every 2 hours and you're just so exhausted, it's sometimes better just to take the easy route and throw up into the trash rather than have to get up and run to the toilet. I'm guilty, I know. But yeah, so that's pretty much how I can't speak. That's pretty much how I was feeling. But what I practically ate most of the time was, I lived off of chocolate chip granola bars. Those were my savior snacks from like when I would wake up at 2 a.m., 6 a.m., 9 a.m. And what else did I eat? I ate a little bit of muffins occasionally throughout it. Toast was also a big thing that I ate because bread's really absorbent, so when I was super hungry in the morning, I would just go down, pop a piece of toast in the toaster, put some butter on that bad boy, and then eat that. And then I would drank a glass of milk, like a small glass, and I was drinking a lot of water, and putting some lemons in my water because lemons are supposed to help ease the smell, lemons are supposed to help ease the nausea. But yeah, I was getting a lot of nausea as well. So I had vomiting, nausea, heartburn, insomnia. Pretty much I couldn't sleep. I was waking up every 2 hours, and frequent urination. But yeah, right now I'm 13 weeks. I'm starting out my second trimester. Don't really have many symptoms I can talk about that yet because it's just so early, so I don't know really much about how to explain those symptoms yet, but I will make another video once I finish up the second trimester to let you know how that was and what I've been experiencing with that. But let me tell you, the first trimester is very, very, very hard. Like, it's hard. Like, I mean, from week 6 to 8, with how much I was throwing up, I literally would just try sleeping away most of the days, go to work, but feel like crap before work because I would throw up and then literally have to leave and go to work. And you know, there's not really much you can eat. Oh yeah, and another big thing you'll experience is loss of appetite. Like, anything that you eat, it's like you're just forcing it down. Like when you have a fever and you're throwing up and your head hurts and you just don't want to eat, but your stomach's telling you need to eat. That's pretty much how I felt. So I'm not gonna lie, my first trimester, I'm so glad that it's over and I'm into the second one because it was not a joke. Like, it was honestly one of the hardest things I've experienced, and I'm tough. I can handle a lot, believe me, but that was just not one of those things. Like, I would be downstairs eating a piece of toast in the morning like, Mom, I don't know how you did this because I just don't even think I'm going to be able to make it to the finish line. So believe me, if you are experiencing this stuff, you just got to look at it like there is light at the end of the tunnel because, you know, like everyone says, that kid will be so worth it in the end that you're going to bypass everything that you went through and just be so happy seeing that baby in your hand once it's born and this is all over with. But I pretty much kind of went into a state of depression with all those symptoms because they were just so hard on me. I was so tired of throwing up every day because I haven't thrown up in years of getting like sick. I mean, I get colds and like voice loss and that occasionally, but I haven't thrown up in a good 5-6 years. So just throwing up all the time was really killing me. And if you don't eat and you try not to eat and you avoid eating, I ended up throwing up stomach acid, which I know is really weird, but it was like spit and stomach acid all in one because it was pretty much like my body was saying like, hey, Chelsea, you know, you're hungry, you need to eat. Like, get something in your system, whether you want it down in your system or not, you need to get it in your system because I am hungry. So very, very hard experience for the first trimester. And literally, I went into like a state of depression because from week 8 to 9.5, the sickness increased even more. So I was nauseous every 2 hours, throwing up every 5-6 hours. And my boyfriend and I were actually supposed to go to Oklahoma to visit his family. And because I was so sick, I didn't want to go because he hadn't told them yet that I was pregnant with his kid. So I stayed back, and I was just literally in such a state of depression, like staring at 4 walls in my room all the time, like, how am I going to get through this? I feel so miserable. This isn't fun. Pregnancy is the worst. Like, I was just thinking everything possible, like, negatively. And then finally I told myself, like, you need to look at, like I said, the light at the end of the tunnel. You're going to have a kid that you created, and you're going to be so happy because it's going to be the best thing that happened to you. So if you're dealing with this and you know, you're like you go through a state of depression like I did, just know, like, you're gonna get through it. You just gotta stay positive. Like, it's like that's the most like biggest thing I could recommend is just stay positive. Just try not thinking about the sickness. Try to eat every 2-3 hours when you get hungry, because if you don't, you're gonna end up throwing up. Or if you don't end up throwing up, you're lucky. But yeah, when you get that hunger feeling, like, definitely eat, because it'll really take a toll on you if you don't. And drink a lot of water, a little bit of milk, because milk has calcium. I also heard that Gatorade's good to drink, so I started occasionally drinking Gatorade to try and help. But yeah, I pretty much lived off of muffins, plain potato chips, granola bars, and a little bit of rice and broccoli, like steamed broccoli I cooked. But that was pretty much all I could really eat. Like nothing really was good, and I was forcing it down because, like I said, and toast. It's better to force something down than leave your stomach empty and it keep growling at you and waking you up and telling you you either need to eat or you need to throw up or you need to use the bathroom. Yeah, it was really hard, but starting from weeks 10 to 13, now I could say it definitely eased up. I mean, I still throw up maybe every 3 days if I like leave my stomach empty, which is my fault. But like I said, when you're just so tired, you don't want to get up out of bed to go cook something. Like, you just want to sleep, especially when it's like 3 in the morning and you're like, what am I supposed to cook at 3 in the morning? And if you don't have those groceries available downstairs, you're just like, well, guess I'm out of luck. You know, you just kind of think that way. But it definitely has lightened up. I throw up maybe every 3 days. Sometimes I go a good 5-6 days without throwing up. So I can definitely tell that it's definitely easing down. They say that it's supposed to ease down from weeks 12 to 16, which is when you're pretty much starting or entering your second trimester. So hopefully, fingers crossed, that it's pretty much gone. But I definitely didn't have a lot of energy either. I have a lot more energy now. I actually get up and take a shower and do my makeup occasionally, like not to its fullest, but more than what I was doing. I haven't worn makeup in probably a good 5-6 weeks when I was throwing up bad in my first trimester, when it got bad from like weeks, like I said, week 6 to 10, it was crucially bad. So no makeup for me. I was just laying in bed all day and eating snacks when I could and pretty much just trying to sleep it off. Oh, and I'm not gonna lie, I binged out on Netflix and watched Shameless, so, and 13 Reasons Why 2, because I already watched the first one. So yeah, that's pretty much how my first trimester went. But like I said, it's definitely been easing up. I still get sick if I don't eat. Like, I don't throw up as much, so that's better. But I'm hoping within the next 2-3 weeks it'll subside and be gone, and I can just move on and be happy and just watch myself getting bigger and getting more excited for my baby to come. But yeah, that's my video for my first trimester and how I dealt with all those symptoms and how I coped and how I felt and all that good stuff. We're super excited to be finding out the gender soon of our baby. We know the name for a girl and we know the name for a boy, if it's a boy or girl, we don't know. But we'll be finding out soon, and I will keep you guys updated. I hope this video helped, and if you are feeling the way I am, it's completely normal, and I promise you, you'll get through it. Just stay thinking positive. Alrighty, well, I love you guys, and thank you for watching.